So a few years ago, there was a comedy sketch done for a group called Comedy Relief, where an English professor was having an argument with a student who was being disruptive during class. And he said to that student, "You are being pointless, repetitive, and extremely dull." That student's reaction was, "That's a bit like Shakespeare." And that seems to be people's impression of Shakespeare. It's boring, it's dull, it's hard to understand. And there's a few reasons for that. One, we don't live in Shakespeare's world. We've been through the Industrial Revolution, the Cyber Revolution, and it's hard to us to relate to his world. But the main reason why it's hard for us to understand Shakespeare is because he wrote in what's called iambic pentameter. And iambic pentameter, according to Princeton's Encyclopedia of Poetry and Poetics, was made by a Greek poet in the 7th century BC. So it's an old way of writing poetry. And so today's message, my goal today is to teach you how to use iambic pentameter so that you can better understand it, and if you ever have to perform it, so that your audience can understand it. So let's break down the word iambic pentameter. Let's start with meter. Meter is a rhythm, and that's basically all you need to know about iambic pentameter. It's a rhythm. Ba bum ba bum ba bum ba bum. And let's look at iambs. According to Shakespeare's dictionary, iambs are two syllables with the emphasis on the second syllable, which is why I went ba bum. Second syllable is emphasized. And if you see here, petra, meaning five, there's 5 pairs of syllables with the second emphasis on the second syllable, and that's basically what iambic pentameter is. And this is how it looks like if you actually annotate a whole monologue. Oh, what a rogue and pez and slave am I? So you do that with the whole thing, and that's you reading it. You slow down your reading to read it that way, and you actually perform it a little differently. When you perform it, what you want to do is you want to emphasize one word per verse to really communicate the message of the monologue. So even if somebody doesn't understand a word, based on the context of the word you emphasize, they can understand what's going on. In this monologue, Hamlet has just heard an actor talk about Hecuba, down there, Hecuba, and he's cried and he's poured out his guts, and Hamlet feels outraged. Hamlet's lost his dad, his uncle killed him, his kingdom is taken away, and Hamlet can't express any emotion. So he feels outraged. So some words you might emphasize is rogue, and player, and fiction, and force, to really communicate what's going on. That there's an actor, and he's forcing emotion, and Hamlet's a rogue because he can't do the same, even though he's gone through something much worse. So you might say that Shakespeare's writings are pointless, they're outdated, they're not able to catch an audience. But quite recently, there was a book released called Shakespeare's Star Wars, where Star Wars is rewritten in iambic pentameter, and it was really quite popular, so there is an audience. And Shakespeare can have an impact. According to the reflection of English character in William Shakespeare's writings, the author said that Shakespeare's writings really shaped England's sense of nobility and duty to fight for justice and morality. So now that I've taught you a little about iambic pentameter and how to use it, how to perform it, I'm hoping that you too can discover this world and be a part of it. Thank you.